Hey, hope everyone's going well. Welcome. Alright, let's jump straight into it. A little bit of an update. So, during this weekend, I've essentially started this library called Welk UI. The idea of this library is to host all of the sort of components that I want to share between a couple of the projects I want to do. Yeah, that's like the usual things, so buttons, checkboxes, date time in pickers, and stuff like that. Nothing too hard or complicated, with the idea that I'll be able to use this on any other project and anyone else can use it too. So yeah, currently set that up, still got to test it. But what I want to do is I kind of want to move a bit of NearBeach to it. So we'll actually be getting rid of quite a lot of the prefab components, which we'll do today. So we might as well start doing that. So we're going to go into components, we're going to go into prefab. Add object is still staying. Button, card, checkout, date component, drop down, error, form group, number input, they're all going. The object tag, that's going to be staying for the moment, just because it's all wrapped up with NearBeach's tag stuff and the routers and all of that kind of stuff. However, that being said, we might find something like a label or a tag, whatever we want to call it, and make it very, very generic and then pass through stuff into it. Yeah, that would be my guess of how we can tackle that problem. Shouldn't be too hard to do. Object status, yeah, that one's staying. Password input, switch, text area, and tooltip component, they're also getting deleted from here. So we're happy with that. Now with the dashboard, I think, yeah, the dashboard stuff, that's perfectly fine. We don't need to worry about any of that. If I go from the top down, the error, that's the page not found. That's dealing with card components that no longer exist, because we've put them in Welk. So yeah, what we've got to do is go from top down, edit the stuff we need to do. If there's any components that we know we're going to throw out or change drastically, we'll just remove any reference to it. Remember, we're mostly focusing on the login page at the moment. Once that's done, then we'll focus on other things like the more API and stuff like that. Alright, so getting into here, let's actually set up Welk on the system. So in our package.json, I've added Welk at the bottom. I've added the latest version. It's going to be in the 0.0 for quite some time. We won't move it to any other version until later down the track. That's perfectly fine. What we need to do is we're going to focus on the login page first. So in here we need to import, and this will actually belong up here. So import the Welk UI, and then it'll be the dist, and then it'll be the CSS, like so. That's just to get the CSS in. The CSS is really, really small. With Welk, it's pretty much most of those variables, variable definitions. And then what I want to do is, we've just hit an ad break on Twitch. We're just going to do this for a little while. We do have Socks here today. She's right there. She's like this up, sending out those very judgmental looks. She's realised that she's overly judgmental then, and she's pretending to look away. If I take her Socks over here. Oh, there we go. She's looking again. The judgmental looks. So, yeah. We've got about a minute left of the ads. So, yeah. For those on YouTube wondering what's actually happening, we run ads every half an hour on Twitch. That's just to stop pre-rolled ads because they suck. Don't worry. You don't get ads, and we won't worry about it. So, yeah. In the meantime, you're just stuck with me for a little bit whilst I do this. I don't do anything, well, I try not to do anything of NearBeach wise, just so no one misses out on any content. So, yeah. Alright. We've got about 30 seconds left. I don't think I can solve this in that time, but I can certainly try. Alright, there we go. Did it. 9 seconds to spare. Alright. Couple of seconds. 3, 2, 1. Alright, let's get back into it. Alright, so I put that whelk down there. If we're, I'm just going to close all tags and all that kind of stuff. We'll also do it with the main. Easy. And what we're going to do is error page, we have a problem. So the card component and card header. Ooh. We are using the card header, but I don't think we've got access to it. Okay, that means I've got a bug that I need to fix. But that's not a problem. What I want to do is I want to go import. I'm just doing that first. Card component from whelk. All right, cool. And then we should be able to do card header, but that won't work yet. So we have a bug where we're missing card header from whelk. I'm just going to open up. Oh, do I have whelk on here? I think I do. Yeah, I do. I'm just going to put whelk there for a moment. I'm just going to go get status, get pull, because we want to be on the latest version. Here we go. I'm just going to close all the tabs. I'm going to close this. I'm just going to close all tabs. Took me a little while to set this up. We want to go source components. What we have in here is we've got card, but as you notice that card header and card footer are up there. A little harder to get to. In this sort of case, I'm kind of saying that these are subcomponents of this. We do actually need to make them external. So what I've got to do, I think I've got to actually pretty much copy what I'm doing here. So this is the index.ts. There's a better way, please tell me. I only just got this working. I'm not married to it. This will be card footer. Alright, cool. Yeah, we're all happy with that. However, I do need the .view. Easy done. This will be export default as card header. .view. We're all happy with that. And then what I want to do is under this index, export card footer from, or this is where I kind of want to change this to represent everything that we're changing with. Sorry, I missed the subfolders when renaming stuff. Alright, so that will be card footer, like that, and then we've got export card header from card header. It's done. We're actually happy with that. So this one's particularly done. So we're thumbsing up that. I'll just close all of that. Now, checkbox will be happy with the drop down items. I don't know if we. I think we do have to have access to the drop-down items. All right. So we'll quickly do this. Drop-down item, easy done. We're all happy with that. And then I'll get rid of all of those. I'm just going to open up this. We're just going to go export drop down item. Easy done. All right, we've got the form group. We're happy with the form group. Number input we're happy with. Password input we're happy with. Render error messages we're happy with. Switch we're happy with. Text area we're happy with. All of those we're actually happy with. All right, cool. I won't be able to push this on here. I will need my laptop to do this, just because I haven't added the 2FA to this just yet, and it's problematic, to say the least. No problem. What I can do is I can try and build it. npm install first, because I need a couple of extra packages. npm build. Builds it pretty quickly. I'm happy with that. So in the dist, you can see that we've got everything that we need. We've got the CSS, we've got the JavaScript, and we've got this file. So yeah, I'm happy. Git status, oops. Applying the sub components to the export. And not many of these components will have sub components. Some of them, when we actually do construct more of the components, some of the sub components won't need to be exported because we don't need the public to access them. So yeah. Now, give me a couple of seconds. I do apologize. I need to pull that and publish that on my side of things. So I'm going to do that very, very quickly. I'm just doing a simple git pull. Easy done. npm run prod, or sorry, npm run build. Just going to build everything that we require. I forgot to update the package.json to have the upgraded version number, so I'm doing that very, very quickly, and then npm publish. And that's going to put it on npm. However, I need to do my two-factor stuff here. Oh, I've got to log in first. npm login. Socks. Luckily for this is just me using the security keys. There we go. Let's just log in, npm publish. So yeah, it was a bit of a learning experience getting this to work. Clearly we've done a number of releases very quickly because I would find an issue and fix that issue and build and so forth like that. Didn't know how to test locally properly. And I was like, it's fine. No one knows about this project yet. We will probably do a cleanup in the future if we can. Yeah. All right. So what I want to do is first things first. Let's go to package lock. Let's just do this. Let's bring this down. Let's go npm install. Another thing which I could potentially do is I could build here and then just cut these and put and override my packages. That should be fine. So that should have installed. I'm just going to rerun npm install. There we go. Perfect. Let's run into page not found. Boom. That's going to work now. So we've got the card component and the card header. So I'm happy with that. With the header component itself, we're perfectly fine with. I'll tell you what I'm going to do. Perfect. All right, socks. Do you mind? No. You're like, no. Rawr. All right. We're just going to copy this. We're just going to go over here. We're just going to find these. All right, we've got a couple of. Do you mind? We've got a couple of text inputs that do no longer work. Socks, you stop destroying stuff. So what I've got to do is put them into Welk. So text area. We've got text area. We've got text input. We've got card component, card header. That will delete all of those, and switch component. Like so. So yeah, some of these have been named. So for it would be switch component. For example, text area will be different. Switch component. There you go. That's perfectly fine. I don't think we were using switch component in here, so I'm just going to get rid of that. That's perfectly fine. So I'm happy with this. I'm just going to get rid of this for the moment because we don't need it. So we've still got some old legacy naming conventions in here still, so I'm just going to go through the whole process. I might as well close all these tabs. So we've done the header component. We're all happy with that. We're going to do the login. We've got the forgotten password stuff. Yeah, we've got the forgotten password panels. That's perfectly fine. That's actually a subcomponent. That's just this, which does actually have the button component missing. So that's from Welk now. And it won't be just the button component that we're importing, it's also the text input. Also, so we'll get rid of that. And we'll need the object state enum. All right, that works. Text input should now work. I'm gonna let that do its thing first. Just opening up other. All right. Import. We don't need button variant anymore, but we need the button component, the password input, text input, and object state enum from Welk UI. Now that should work. Now button state, that needs to be a string, type string, to fix up that little tiny issue. Capital. All right, sweet. Again, we've just got to import the text input, button component, object state enum from Welk. All right, cool. Now, some of the nav items, maybe? No? Alright, cool. So far, so good. No, that's perfectly fine. Yep, that's perfectly fine. I'm just going to close all tabs. Because, yeah, the menu, the nav bar type stuff, that one would probably keep here for the moment. Later on, if we ever expand Welk outside of being a very skeleton component thing where we want to then include different types of navigation and stuff like that, maybe, but no. At the moment, we're keeping it a shell of a component library. Pun intended. All right, the playground page, that's basically, we're just getting rid of that. We don't need the playground page. We've still got the prefab sort of stuff. We are going to move these because they are specific for NearBeach, but we don't know where to put them yet. So we'll figure that one out later. Prefab still works. We've got project, which once again will have all of these. So what we need to do is we go import button component, card component, card header, card footer, text input, button variant doesn't exist anymore, but the object state num does. Gotta delete that from the end. Don't know why that's throwing up an issue. View type saving is not assigned to no action. Ugh. We don't need the primary anymore because we've moved that to the class. So much simpler that way. The object state. So that will be editing the object state. Alright, I just need to tell this system that it is going to be a string. Oh, sorry. A ref a string. There we go. And then that works. Cool. There's going to be a lot of code cleanup as we redo these components again. The idea being is, yeah, we'll be needing up a lot of the code in these components because we just copied it from the mock-up and just placed them in here. Idea being is, yeah, in the next month I'll be cleaning up quite a lot of this. So add object, yep, that's all perfectly fine. This one has an issue where we need to import the card component. The group and user access, those are components that are in here. I'm just going to move that back up to there. Yeah, that'll be perfectly fine. Document, all right, cool. That'll be a drop down, and we've got drop down item interfaces. Now that should be coming from the Welk now. So what I want to do is import drop down items interface, and the drop down. Oh, that's grabbing it from the utilities. want to do it from Welk. Oh, all right. We must not have copied over the interfaces, which is not good because we do want the interfaces over there. So someone could import the interface into their TypeScript stuff, and then presto, everything should work. All right. Let's open up Welk. I'm just going to close all tabs. We're going to minimize everything. We're going to open up Welk. We're going to open up our source. We're going to open up our utility. We've got this. We do have interfaces there. We do have menu item interface. ARIA label, destination, icon. So ARIA label, icon label, trigger. Oh, we've got title instead. All right, cool. So we made a couple of changes. Done. Okay, so what I actually got to do is import type menu item interface from Welk UI. Easy done. All right. And there is a problem here. The drop down items, we'll be fixing that in a second. In here, we do have the document interfaces. We do have the folder item interface, which I think, yeah, we've got over there. So what I want to do is I want to get rid of this, and I just want to put Welk UI. I then want to go into here, and I want to type in folder item interface. We can get rid of that line. Document list, folder list, that's definitely specific to NearBeach. We're not moving that to Welk. And yeah, once again, a lot of this we will fix up later. We've got the breadcrumbs. I think that's not importing anything. Yeah, that's perfectly fine. We've got the document list. That's just importing stuff which we got for NearBeach. That's perfectly fine. The folder list is importing stuff from NearBeach. That's perfectly fine. So I'm just going to close all these tabs. We do have a problem here. I'm just having a quick look. Oh, it'll be in this sort of format. All right, cool. So the drop down is throwing up an issue here where we've got the drop down items, and it's drop down items, which would mean that it, oh, trigger's not working either. All right. Yeah, all right. Give me 2 seconds. I think I screwed up here. I'm gonna have a look at utilities. I'm gonna have a look at the interfaces. So we've got the drop-down menu interface where we've got we've got all of that, which is the same, and then we've got the menu item interface, which is all right. Drop-down. Yeah, I've just got the wrong interface on. No problem. We just changed that very, very quickly. It does mean that I need to change the title to label it again. It's quick, easy fix. Easy done. Alright, so I'm just going to close all of that. I'm also going to have a look at this. We're just going to exit. We're going to jump back into it. It looks like it's built everything and we're happy with it so far. We are still going through the list. So I think we did the... we didn't do the notes. We need to import card component and card header. The link, yeah. Done. General details we did do. All right, cool. I'm just going to close all of those. We've got the properties component. Yeah, there's all of those. So we need to import component, date, time, component, text input, number input. Public links, yeah, it just needs the card component. That one we'll need to get rid of. Oops, hold on. I want to keep it in there for reference. So import object title case enums from Welk UI. Easy done. Add object is one of our own ones. Whether we might move that out of Welk. Okay, button component. We don't need that anymore because this will be compact and danger. It's done. We've moved it into the class sort of stuff, so we get rid of that. Get rid of the object state. So import button component object state enum. And anything else I need to import? Button component. We're pretty happy with that. Yep. All right. Stakeholder organization, that's part of the thing. Yeah, we'll move those all around. So what I need is import the card component, card header, and then object title case enums. We'll get rid of that. That's perfectly fine. Project page is perfectly fine. I'm going to minimize all that. We're just going to do all that. Yeah, a lot of these, open up project again, the project page, a lot of these little subfolders and stuff like that, they'll actually move into more of a generic area because they'll be used over multiple different objects. So, yeah. And that will happen hopefully shortly. So, yeah. All right, the search. All right, that's just a simple input. We're fine with that. the card components and stuff like that. Card component, card header, checkbox. There you go. Easy done. Yeah, we're happy with the object stuff. That doesn't have any import. Search results will have the card component. Easy done. And then the search page itself will just have those. Yep, we're fine with that. And then the skipped links should be perfectly fine. I don't think that's importing anything. That's just us giving anyone who's blind the ability to skip any of the navbar sort of stuff once the page reloads. Now the pages, the app itself, that should just be perfectly fine. That's all basic stuff that's in here. The login app is basic sort of stuff, which we have in NearBeach, and that's it so far. If I hit the run and I go over here and I type in localhost 8000, there we are. Though you'll notice that this doesn't have any CSS or anything like that. We're going to fix that up. So yeah. Ooh, I am terribly sorry. I did just miss an ad break. I do apologize about that. I didn't notice it was actually going on. So yeah. Let's go to the login page. So search, components. And Mohammed, how are you going? Hopefully you're going well. Welcome, welcome. We are going to edit the login page very, very quickly. So this would be login page. We'll have the login panel. And then down here, where it's got button component, I'm going to make a few changes. Starters. We're going to change that to sign in. We're getting rid of the label. And we're just doing that. And we're going to go class equals primary. Easy done. And then as you can see, now that we've got that, boom. Everything just falls into place like that. So that's how I kind of want to build the components, where they're quite literally a shell, and then you can easily manipulate them through CSS and sort of basic stuff. I don't want these components to be overly complicated or anything like that. They're not going to run any business logic. They're just going to render out the basic sort of things. That way, when I build the other project, it will look very similar to NearBeach, and everything will behave exactly the same. So, yeah. All right. So I'm kind of happy with that. Now, I think we got this kind of working. Oh, I need to do two-factor. I had a test with the two-factor with the apps and stuff like that, and it failed. It didn't work, and I think I know why. It's because it sent out an email for it. I can actually bring this email chat down. We're just going to yank this code here. This is perfectly fine. This is just for our environment. We'll fix that up in a second. Components, playground. All right, cool. Yeah, I know. We deleted that purposely. So we'll fix that up in a second. I just need to go to the bathroom very, very quickly. I will be back. Terribly sorry. Sorry about that. Oh, it's getting hot in here. Alright. So, I'm going to log out. We are today also going to set up the login and log out routes properly. So, yeah. I'm going to log out. We are going to get some things fixed up straight away. So I'm just going to bang into admin user. There we go, two-factor. That should have, yep. All right, we're going to fix this two-factor stuff. So I'm just going to open up the two-factor. Once again, we've got this button down here. We no longer need the button state. Now that's throwing up an issue. Yeah, we need to actually define that button state. That's an easy fix. So it's going to be a ref of string equals ref. And then what we want to do is we want to import button. How did I do it in the login panel again? Oh, did it? We did it from above. All right, we're going to actually. Yeah, we need those two. All right. Oh, we do have button state. Oh, I know why. There you go. That was the problem all along. Ignore all of this. All right, cool. Button state done. So we've got the button component, button state. We've got the. There's no longer a label sign in. What we will have is something like sign in, like that. But I want to be specific, like what the step we're actually doing, type of specific. So submit to FA. So if we go over here, oh, expected token. Yeah, all right. Got a little comma, there we go. So if I were to sign in, admin, and go, all right, cool, sign in. We'll fix up these messages. Now we've got like submit to FA. So yeah. The other thing I want to do here is we've got to add in a class, and that's just going to be a primary. So if we go over here, we can see it's looking really a lot nicer nowadays. And then we just got to submit it. Now, there is a bug. We're not determining if the user is doing a email or if they've got an app installed. So, we are going to deal with the app sort of stuff. I'm just going to close all these tabs. I'm just going to minimize this. I'm going to open up this. I'm going to open up the backend, so the NearBeach sort of stuff. We've got the views, we've got the API version 1, authentication, we've got the authentication app. So in here, we've got the handle two-factor. This line handles whether or not we deal with the email device or stuff like that. We actually yeah, I'm just wondering if we keep this. Oh, that's an email device object. Yeah, this is where I've got to go and read the terrible documentation again. So Django one-time password. This is devices. we want to actually have a look at the documentation itself. Using zero-random code on an increment encounter, every time a provider generates a new code or verifies one, they increment their respective counters. This algorithm will fail if the provider generates too many codes without successful verification. If there's a failed attempt on this plugin, it will force exponentially increasing delay for another. All right. I need devices. Oh. Sorry, big on. Okay. Let's actually just see what the code does. I'm just going to, but that's email device, that's the problem. Yeah. Just going to click on authentication verification. Right, okay. Oh. Stack device simply consists of a random token shared by the database and the users. Alright, no. Email device, yeah, alright. I'm going to do a couple of things. We're going to do a top device, we're going to do the top device, and see what we're going to get. So very similar to how we create and so forth down here, we're going to do pretty much the same thing. So we're going to write in temp code. I'm also going to sit down just because I'm a bit tired. Can't tell. Okay, think about that. And what we're going to do. Love to lag, how are you going? With only basic HTML, JavaScript, CS, knowledge openness. Fair enough. I'm just going to go dev cre. Actually, no, we're going to take some logic with this approach. So I'm going to import this. And then there should be a up here. Yeah, there's that. So I want to go from this something like that, and then from Django one-time password dot plugins dot one-time password. Top models, so we're going to import those. Then down here, I'm going to go device underscore hood top. Just getting the acronym correctly, HOTP. And then created HOTP equals that. And then we're still doing user. We're going to go name user and confirm equals true. And then the other one, we're going to go device underscore, that will be pretty much that. It'll be that. It'll be that. Oops. That. We'll do that. And we are just putting, we're going to keep the breakpoint there. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to log in using a couple of different users. So I'm going to sign in. All right, something's happened. No such table. Django one-time password. All right, hang on. I'm just gonna stop and reset the server. All right, so the server's fine. You're doing good. Oh, that's good to hear. Trying to figure out what you're doing. I am trying to get two-factor to work. So we used to use Django two-factor. However, all of that is like view-based and so forth like that. We're moving to more of an API sort of system. So I'm using the library that Django two-factor was based off, which is Django one-time password. And we should be able to implement what we want. Now, Alright, oh, sorry. No such table that. Okay, that's fine. Tell you what. We're just going to comment that out. We're going to stop again. We're going to restart. We're just going to refresh. Just gonna wait a little while, make sure everything's settled. Yep, everything's settled. You're only no front end, and that is perfectly fine. Initially it will be, but later on it won't. Because all I'm doing is connecting the connective tissue between my front end and Django one-time password. I've never done that before, so I'm figuring it out. So yeah, once I figure that out, that's it. It all will just get connected. I'll be happy, and yeah. So I'm just gonna hit play again, and it's complaining about no table. Oh, it's still complaining about that. All right. Let's just get rid of that. Let's just hit stop. Let's just delete that code. Let's just get rid of it. Pretend it never existed. So, yeah. All right. I'm just going to hit refresh. I'm just going to do that. I'm just going to do that. Boom. Now we've got this. All right. So I'm just going to go forward. All right, no problems. I'm happy. I know you guys can't read this little tiny text. That's perfectly fine. Don't worry about it. I'm just actually seeing what's in here exactly. We've got the created ID, does not exist. Oh, sorry about that. I don't see anything that stands out here. I know with the admin user, I have not set up 2FA on an app or anything like that, you know, like the Google Authenticator. So I think this is fine. We're just going to hit play. This should say logging in, and yeah, it should take us there. I'm going to hit refresh to go back here. Now, I know Team Leader, I set up the 2FA on my phone. So I'm just going to hit login. And we're here again. We're just going down here. Oh, it's got created TOTP is true. All right. Hello. Big John. Digit 6. Doesn't give me a list of devices. I'm just gonna have a look in here. It does look like it emails the team leaders to FA. So if I log back in, yeah, it logged the user in. We don't want that because we've set up an app to FA app, so I'm gonna change that. Okay, so yeah, that's generating the challenge. But what if I do device TOTP dot generate challenge also for that one too? I'm gonna see if this allows me to log in using my phone. Well, I should get rid of that. We're just gonna hit play. We're gonna hope for the best. Let's do that again. Okay, cool. Give me 2 seconds. Sorry, I've just got to do the authenticator. I might have deleted the authenticator. Oh, that was silly of me. All right. Damn. Okay. And Jet Pinky, hey, how are you? And Evie, how are you? Sorry, I just saw your chat up there on Twitch. Hopefully you guys are going well. I'm gonna have to reset this this two-factor stuff. All right, this is gonna be a bit of a pain. I do apologize. What I've actually got to do is a few steps, but I'll step through it. What I want to do is I want to CD into the NearBeach old version. I want to open up the source, activate that. I want to go Python 3 manage run server. Alright, so we're now running a server again. We're just going to go to localhost. I'm going to go team leader. I'm hoping that Alright, not a problem. I'm just going to go admin. That's going to email me. Easy done. What I want to do is I'm just going to go into the admin panel. We've got the auth tokens. They're no longer there. All right. One-time password. That's the email. That's the static devices. There we go. So team leader. We are just going to delete this. easy done. We're going to sign out. We've got a few steps for this, but that's not a problem. We're just going to go team leader. And King One, how are you going? I am testing out two-factor authentication for NearBeach, the new version of NearBeach. Give me a couple of secs. I do need to switch on to this screen. I want token generator. I've just got to do the token stuff. Alright, that would be back to security. Alright, cool. Get back onto the workstation. Over here, we can stop this now. What we can do is we can remove the old database and we can copy the one that's from here. There we go. Just deactivating that. We're going back to the old thing over here. We're going to open up the source. We're going to open up that. So we're on the new system now. I need to migrate all the changes that I've done for the database. Luckily for us, it doesn't take too long. And then what I want to do is we just want to run npm dev. We want to go over here. We want to run this. And then we're just going to hit enter again, like so. Now I need to log out. So I'm gonna Alright. Few annoying steps at the moment, but I'm going to fix this up, hopefully today. So we've got the team leader. I want to sign in. And then I've got to key in this password. And I'm going to hope for the best. No, 403. Alright. Now, that might be because when it comes back here, we do generate a challenge there, but yeah, we don't do verification there. Alright, cool. So I'm going to do verify token equals device verify. Alright, something like that. Alright, we're going to put a breakpoint here. We're going to do this all over again. I'm going to refresh. We're going to try this again. I'm going to log in as team leader. Alright, so we've hit this. We're going to step over. Verify false. Damn. Alright. Oh, and we've hit an ad break. Alright. So for those on YouTube wondering what's happened, we run ads on Twitch to stop the pre-rolled ads. We tend to do this so no one misses out on any content. Yeah, we've got a minute left of the ads. Now I've got to figure out how we're gonna verify the 2FA. So yeah, we'll get there. We will get there. It might be something that we just have to ask, try and figure out. So yeah, about 35 seconds left of the ads, and then we'll get right back into it. Alright, and then I probably have to do something about YubiKeys and so forth like that in the near future. Because that will be convenient too. Right, we've got about 10 seconds left. Alright, welcome back everyone. So, let's get back into this. Yeah, the 2FA didn't work. Let's just Google it. Django one-time password verify TOTP token. What this does, you get devices, user, confirm true. Okay, so we've got get devices up there. Assume you have authenticated for example, request.user. Sure. Token from the user, device equals device.verify token from user. Okay. I mean, that's what we kind of have up here. Device, create. It's a bit different. Yeah, we've got email device instead. Alright. But we do have the TOTP device. Okay. Nope. What I can do. Django one-time password. Tell which device we are using. By checking the request.user one-time device after successful verification provided. No. When logging in, tell which device we should use. I'm not using a form. I'm not using the form. Alright, so we've got the patterns, we've got all this, the admin site here. Alright. This is very short. Okay. Oh gosh, yawning like there's no tomorrow. What I want to do, get rid of that. Actually, no, I'll keep that in. Actually, no, I'll get rid of that. You have to manage the device yourself. Yeah, I'm trying to figure out how. What I'm going to do is, because we know the email stuff works at the moment, we are just going to remove it. As opposed to the user, if the user, initialize base values, if user has device. Alright, cool. Yep, I'm just going to try something out. Gonna refresh. We're just gonna go back here. We're just gonna go team leader. It should. Give me a minute. I didn't know if I have a breakpoint. Oh, did I take that? Oh, that was silly of me. Hang on. Where's my code? Where's my code? Up here. There it is. No, if token is alert, no. All right. Sorry, excuse my French. I hate when it does that. Essentially, I hit enter, it opens up a random tab. So we should have TO2P devices here. We've got the team leader and stuff like that in here. So the Django one-time password should store the relevant details in here that we need. So for example, the key itself, the date, time, and so forth like that. So all of that should be stored by the Django one-time password, and probably Django Nox. What I'm trying to do is, we've got email working. Email works perfectly fine. What I'm trying to do is get the token to generate correctly, or verify the token correctly. And I just don't know the process for that. Alright, so we've got the get device, and then we've got the give device. Form solid redirect dashboard. And alright, no. Alright, let's have a read. They're trying to make a Django app, which I want to create an OPT, one-time password verification, but I'm confused. What is the right approach to do it? Here's what I've done so far. So they got the models and all that kind of fun stuff. They've got the user serializer, cool. They've got the create, yep. Post, yep. Post create a phone one-time model. We're not using a phone, we're using an app. Guaranteed this one's going to talk about Django 2FA. We need to add Django one-time password, Django top into our installed apps. I do believe I've still got top. Maybe not. That might be the problem. So I'm just going to go into our local. We're going to go into the settings. We're just going to scroll down. We've got the Django one-time password. We've got the that and that. All right. And another thing is, I could be completely off. We've got the email in there and top and static. So we do have that in there. All right, implementation, manage setup. Yep. All right, cool. Accounts. Yep. All right. Confirm the device found is a TOTP device, as later we'll be introducing static devices. All right, cool. Get user if not device equals. All right, cool. Get user to his device. All right. We could also be sending back the wrong information. But if I have a look at this code, so we pull out the one-time password token, we just put it in here. Yeah. Yep. User device equals. Oh, quite hard. These lords are pissing me off. Cool. Payload equals. Yep. So get device equals get static. Yep. If not device equals static objects to all right, let's just go through the code. Do we need to generate challenge? I don't know. All right. Just go back to here. Let's go team leader. what I want is... I'll wait till this is... Alright. So we should hit here. We've got our token. No matter what, it's always going to be like that. Ooh. Oh. Alright, let's cheat. Give me 2 seconds. Yeah, let's cheat. I don't want to spend too much time researching this. Alright, I am using Django with Django one-time password. I do not want to use Django to backdoor. I want to create my own 2FA, which will use an API approach. If I were to use Google Authenticator, how can I wire up the backend to accept 2FA? Fields I am sending to the backend will be username, password, and one-time password. It's just this. I need the backend to figure out if the user currently has a installed what type of 2FA and how to implement token verification for applications like Google Authenticator. Alright, cool. We're cheating. You can do this cleanly with Django's one-time password alone. No, yep, alright, cool. Low is sweet. So your backend only needs to store a 2FA secret per user. Sweet. One-time password against a secret. Alright, cool. Install. Yeah, we've already got that. We've set this up. We're happy with that. Middleware. I'm 50% sure we've just set that up. Nah, we haven't set that up. Middleware. So they're saying set up Django one-time password middleware. Django one-time. Okay. I'm happy to send that up. We're then going to migrate. All right. Python 3 manage migrate. It might make us a new table. Your model in apps NearBeach have changed. They're not reflected in the migration, and so won't be apply. Run it. Is it possible to add non-nullable field list of requirement status pointer? Nah. The other thing is I am using Nox. To the normal authentication middleware, probably not. Auth password validators, no. But I've also got Nox in here too, and I'm just remembering what Nox knocks out. Is it Django REST Nox? Or give me 2 seconds, I will find out. Go on password, we got Vite. Django REST Nox, yep, alright, cool. Alright. Installation. Alright, so it doesn't knock out the one-time password. Alright, cool. Alright. So we'll add this middleware in. Alright, it doesn't want to migrate because of some stupid, silly reason why. I'm just going to cancel that. I'm going to deactivate. And I'm just going to source the activate just in case I've got the wrong virtual environment on. Yeah, in your model apps, NearBeach have changed that are not reflected in the migration. Give me 2 seconds though. Let's comment that out. Let's see if we get that again. Yeah, we still do. We haven't made any modifications to the models file. Not, hang on, the family file. So they're all source. Local settings, we'll remove that. Package lock. Alright, cool. So what I'm going to do, git add everything from source, git status. Alright. I'm just saving this at the moment, so reorganize the components to integrate Welk UI. Python 3, manage, migrate. Your models and apps, NearBeach, have changed that are not yet reflected in the migration, so you won't be able to apply to make new migrations. But guess what I was doing? I was running that command. Watch, I'll copy and paste it. And be like, no. Yeah, no new migrations to apply. What the hell? trying to make migration. So, list of requirements pointer to list of requirements status without specifying a default. It's because the database needs something to populate the existing rows. Python 3 manage migrate. Foreign key mismatch. I'm too tired for this shit. Just way too tired for this. Alright, Python 3 manage. Let's go migrate. Let's start a new database. Let's see actually what actually happens when we do a new database. Wow, alright. How has this stopped working now? Alright, let's see what I've broken. Gotta fix this before I do anything else. We need to go into the 032 branch itself and have a look at the commits. Specifically anything that deals with the models. And we can close that. No, that one didn't deal with the models. So we've got a NearBeach, we've got the serializer, we've got the views. We don't have models yet. We'll move that on. That might be something, but we've just moved stuff around. What commit number is this? We're moving to that commit. We're removing the database. We're going to go Python 3 manage migrate. We're applying the last thing, and yeah, we've got a mismatch, and I don't know where it's come from. All right, we've reached some ads on Twitch. Give me a minute. I'm just going to go to the get myself a drink. I'll be right back. All right, a quick drink, don't worry. Oh, it's so hot in here. Just the instant I walked in, I was like, oh God, feels horrible. I wonder what the weather is like. It's currently 26. I'm gonna have to open up all the windows tonight. Alright, yeah. Alright, we should be back. Welcome back, everyone. We're just figuring out why all of a sudden data migration just stopped working. We had this tested, which is annoying for us. So what I'm going to do, I'm gonna jump back to this commit. And what we're going to do is we're going to go git checkout and we're going to paste that one in. All right, cool. We're removing the database and we're going to go Python 3 manage migrate. All right, so we had massive problems with that one. That's fine. I'm gonna jump onto the static files because I'm pretty sure I had everything running when we're at the static files. Alright, so I've got everything running here. I don't know why this has just started to do this. Because we copied over this the other day. Foreign key mismatch. Referencing list of requirement item statuses. Cannot drop column status, no other column exists. We shouldn't be dropping status, we should be renaming the column to status. Alright. NearBeach. All right, let's just that should be finding that. Oh my god. Oh, I'm in Welk. No wonder why that can find it. Don't worry. All right, so here it is, common information. Then we've got status, and then we've got list of requirement item statuses, which if we go out the front and type in class, we should get that, in which case it should be referencing this, which is based off list of requirement statuses, which means, yeah, it has the which is based off this, which has status in it, which means I'm gonna have to go and have a look at the migration file, and I'm just hoping I haven't done anything stupid. Wait, why we? What the? All right, operations, remove field, list of requirement item statuses. When did this get put in? Okay. All right. I'm going to copy the other database. And we're just going to go Python 3 manage migrate. Yeah, let's also have a look in the code. So I'm just going to go into NearBeach itself. I'm going to go into NearBeach. I'm going to make sure that we're actually on the 032 development branch because we want the migrations, because the migration should appear in here. Yeah, we don't have 49. Where did 49 come from? Alright, I'm going to remove the database once again. We're going to go git checkout develop. Oh, sorry, git checkout, not develop. How have I named it? 032 development. We're just going to make sure everything's up to date. We're going to do a simple git pull. We're going to go git status, make sure, yeah, there's no other random stuff hidden in here. We did remove the database. No, we didn't. What we also want to do now is we want to copy that old database into here. I've just deleted the database from here. I'm on the wrong thing anyway. Alright, I've made a couple of mistakes, but that's not a problem. Alright, cool. Sorry, I'm a bit tired. We'll see how long I can go for. Clearly I'm making bad mistakes. Alright, so I was probably in the wrong folder and I've just got confused. Alright. Now the problem is I don't know where I am with this whole thing. I've just done a bunch of stuff. Yeah, we'll have to figure this one out. Great stream. For requirement item model, have you considered using Django text choices instead of a foreign field for things like status or type if they are mostly static? I don't want the user putting in something random. There is actually a reason for that. Give me a couple of seconds. I will. Might optimize stuff, yes, but there's a reason why. I need to create the username and password. Damn it. Not a problem. Give me a couple of seconds. This should be Python 3 manage load static NearBeach fixtures. We just want the basic sort of setup. Oh no, load data. I can't deal with this at the moment. I'm too tired. Alright, give me a better minute. All right. This is my production environment. So you're saying for the requirement item model, so this is requirement item, easy done. Have you considered Django text choices instead of foreign keys for things like status or type? So I actually want to limit these down to these particular values purposely. If we actually go into here, I also want on those particular statuses more information passed to the front end. So for example, that status might actually be closed, in which case I need to pass that information down to the front end too, being like, hey, they've just landed on a status that is now closed. So there is a reason why I've done it like this. I don't want the users being like, oh, that's a text field, and then keying in text. Especially if they actually go into the Django admin section, which we're currently in. I really want to force them to only pick those particular values. So yeah, that's the main reason why. And I'm not building infrastructure around preventing users from doing anything other than that in the Django admin portal and stuff like that. That just becomes too complicated. It's just me here at the moment. So, yeah. Alright, so, made a big boo-boo. Essentially, I've screwed up the database on the old version. That's not going to be too much of a problem. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to do a new window. I'm going to port that new window all the way over here so I don't touch it and destroy myself again. We're just going to do something like this. We're going to go source vm bin activate, not activate. We're going to go Python 3 manage migrate. This is in the old version. We're going to go Python 3 manage load data, and we're going to go NearBeach fixtures. We're going to do the basic setup like that. That's perfectly fine. And then yeah, we don't have Docker running at the moment. Yeah, and then that's why it's I've got limitations, and I've got to work within those limitations. Alright, so I'll fix Docker. Let's get rid of that. Whoops. So there is an error popping up. That's just because I haven't started my Minio server. And that's just the S3 sort of stuff. What I want to do, Python 3, manage run server on localhost. Let's see if 8080 works. That port is already in use. 8081, 8082. We're just going through the port numbers at the moment. So localhost 8082. We should be able to log in as the admin user. Hang on a minute. Do I still have the database here? Oh, I do. Alright, I'm absolutely extremely exhausted and sometimes I get confused. Alright, cool. I did stop that there. Alright, cool. I'm just going to close Welk. I know the instant I close it, I'm going to need it again. I'm going to stop this. We'll see how far I can go. Love the VueJS integration. Thank you. Since you're using TypeScript, are you planning to move all component props to interfaces? It would definitely make the project more scalable for other contributors. Yes. Yes. Both at Welk and on NearBeach itself. So yeah, currently Welk's very, very new. Like I started it on the weekend, but it is something that I do want to put all the interfaces in it. There's a bunch of other stuff I probably have to do. So yep. And there's a reason why I separated it out into its own library instead of just having it in NearBeach. Once I get 032 of NearBeach out, I've got another project idea that I want to sort of implement, and that will actually help NearBeach at the same time. It's more of a bug tracking and quality assurance system. I want to get that also connected up with NearBeach, so that way users can be like, all right, cool, I've got a bug, and they can submit a bug from NearBeach, which will go into the quality assurance setup also, and it does all those sort of connections. All right. So if I go back into this login screen now, oh, I've got to be running, sorry, npm run dev. If I log in as the admin, oh, I haven't actually, all right, sorry, I'm really tired and I keep missing things. This will be Python 3 manage migrate now. And for some strange reason, we had 0049 before for some weird bonkers reason. Alright, so I'm going to run that. I'm going to do that. I'm going to log in. Now we can do the two-factor. That should have sent something to Mailtrap about 3 minutes ago. No, that doesn't make sense. It would have just sent it. Yeah, that's a 403. Alright, I know what I've done. Give me 2 seconds. This is me just screwing things up. Let's go back into views, API, let's go into authentication, let's go into auth. What I've done is I've turned off those. So if I do that, and I do that, we'll now be able to log in. go back into here, I will just refresh. Turned off the server, of course. I'm gonna log in like this. It now sends me an email. Yay. I can then copy this. Four or three. You know the email stopped work? Oh, I can't deal with this anymore. Okay, I'm getting rid of that. Should have done that. Should have generated the challenge. Alright, it's definitely sending an email because that took a little while. Oh, I know what I did. Alright, it's down here. There we go. Okay, that actually happened pretty quickly, so I think I can still use the same two-factor. There we go, that's why. I can still use the same two-factor for a little while. Alright, so I've got to figure out how to actually no, we're getting there. We started doing the ChatGPT stuff, and then it started getting me to do the middleware stuff. So yeah, let's continue with that. All right, I'm going to minimize everything. I'm going to open up this. We're going to open up near the local settings. We're going to add in that middleware right now, and this is where we had that problem. So if we go Python 3 manage migrate, it then has that. Your models in apps, NearBeach, have changes that are not reflected in the migration, so you won't be able to apply, which is weird, because we shouldn't at all. If I go get status, get reset hard, so back here, make migrations. It's saying okay. Oh, sorry about that. Oh. I'm just going to see what the hell's going on, but I might end stream soon anyway. Sorry guys, I'm exhausted. So I don't want to provide a once-off, but this is the problem. It's a list of requirements status pointer. Which is really weird. We shouldn't have this anywhere anyway, but we do have this, in a lot of places. And if I file mask that down to PY, what the Alright, let's have a look. It'll be requirement and then requirement items in here. So we're saying list of requirement, list of requirement statuses. Alright, so in here we've got the common info, list of that's weird. I'm screwing up somewhere. And that's what I've done. And I'm just way too tired to figure out where the hell I've screwed up. It's possible to add non alert. Alright. Give me a couple of secs. So NearBeach changes reflect the migrations so it won't be applied. Manage make migrations to make new migrations and so forth like that. I'm going to do that. We're going to have a look at 49. So please enter the default value of the date time Django. I'm just going to do one. All right. Remove field, change user from list of requirement item statuses. All right, let's have a look. Because that doesn't make any sense. So this is based off this. We've got creation user there. Change user. We've got change user right there. What the fuck? So remove field change user from that. It's right there on, now this is a base one, but if you go up here, we're basing it off that. I'm just like, what the? I just removed everything. What the hell? I'm going to do, now this is going to complain, be like, oh, going to copy data and all that kind of stuff. Arrow status, sort order, foreign key. Alright, I'm going to get rid of the latest decorator. Not decorator, sorry, the migration. I'm just going to delete it. And alright, that is really weird. I think I figured it out. No, don't worry, I figured it out. Alright. If we go to this, we've got an abstracted class. So we've got the abstracted class comment info. Cheers, thank you. Yeah. Currently at the moment what we're doing is you'll notice that the latest version. Hang on, let me refresh. Sorry, I'm really tired. My brain's all over the shop. So we're essentially refactoring a lot of the code. We're getting rid of all the technical debt and we're changing how things work. Reason being is there's a lot that I've learned in the last 5-6 years that I kind of want to improve. We've got database technical debt from the very old version of NearBeach. So yeah, we're trying to fix things up. So yeah. Since it's open source, you have a list of good first issues on GitHub. Not at the moment. We're sort of wrapped up the 031 branch. And we're really heavily working on the 032, so the redesign and stuff like that. Also adding more detailed Docker Compose setup in the README would be awesome for newcomer. Yeah, I think that's actually a good idea. Give me 2 seconds. So my brain is it's the flow. Give me 2 more seconds. Sorry, I am. Here's NearBeach. I think that's a good idea. We do now. This we'll have to wait till 032, just because we are changing some of the Docker stuff. You could add some loading skeleton. Ah, yes, yeah. So I'm just going to reload this at the moment. You'll notice that there's a blue curtain. That was my workaround for the skeletons, because I didn't know how to get the skeletons to work like 5 or 6 years ago. It would be 6 years ago now. So yes, I have actually done a little bit more research with that. And with our mock-up, when this loads in, you'll notice, apart from it sliding in, you'll notice that there's a couple of dots and stuff like that. And what I can actually do is I can just open up the mock-up. It's the new NearBeach, new design. We'll just do a new window very, very quickly. That one's shut, that's perfectly fine. npm run dev, that's perfectly fine. I think it'll be at the nev menu, set timeout. Yep. We put, let's do 4 seconds. And stuff like that. Let's go back over here. Let's go localhost 5173. All right, not quite enough. Didn't I just put 4 seconds? Oh, I'm going crazy. So yeah, the idea being is, with this mock-up, I've actually tested that out, and that's what I actually want to actually do, is have those type of improvements added in. As you see, someone's made a recommendation of having the pages sort of fade in, fade out, have that little tiny bit of animation like that. That was a recommendation. So yeah, I would definitely be happy if people make recommendations, especially on our mock-up. Now please note, the mock-up is a vertical slice. It does not work. I just want feedback on it. So yeah, and if you have feedback, you can contact me on Discord. So yeah. Yeah, any improvements will help. I'm not a designer whatsoever, so I'm definitely listening to everyone about it. Yeah. So yeah, I understand a lot of designers will look at this and be like, this is the best I can do. Ignore anything I haven't actually implemented yet. So yeah, I'm still designing those. And I might clean this up a little. And it's going to be, how are you? I have recommendations. Dark mode. Yes, dark mode will be a thing. I just haven't implemented it on the mock-up yet. So yeah, and the good news is, because we implemented it on NearBeach, the 031, it's going to be really, really easy for us to re-implement again. I just need to figure a way of how people can toggle between light and dark mode, and I haven't really picked any colors for dark mode yet, so we'll get to it. I'm sorry, but I'm actually going to call it here. I am rather tired. Yeah, I'm just going to call it. He hasn't streamed it. Alright. I know who we're gonna raid. Alright. And he's still there. Alright, cool. But yeah, thank you very much everyone for being here. Sorry, I'm just tired. It's been, I didn't sleep very well last night. I've got to figure out what's gone wrong with these models. Before I, move on with the two-factor and stuff like that. Regarding the one-time password middleware, are you planning to implement rate limiting? Yes, I would. Definitely, because you don't want someone essentially hitting your auth server with brute forcing a password attack. So yeah. It would be great security addition to prevent force. Yeah, oh, there we go. You actually talked about it right there. Yes. Yeah. So yeah, definitely want to implement that, and also rate limiting on the APIs and so forth like that. So yeah. Feel free to join the Discord. We do actually have a dev channel there. Feel free to just throw in any recommendations, because I might miss something. So yeah. Anyway, let's raid on through. We're going to see Mercenary Mage. So yeah, and for those on YouTube, sadly, you won't be able to join us. I don't have access to a raid function or anything like that on YouTube. But yep, thank you very much for being here, and I hope to see you next time.